Good morning, Hassan Huskies. This is your principal, Dr. Miller. Today is Monday, December 9th, 2024. Please stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, Hassan Huskies. Again, this is December and we are working on empathy, and empathy means to understand that others have feelings. All right, I love that we are working towards being kind friends always. Hassan Huskies, thinking about empathy in the month of December, I would like to share with you. If you judge people, you have no time to love them. We can feel calm. When strong feelings take over, there are things you can do to help yourself. Ask for help and slow breathing. So lots of us practice slow breathing. Sometimes we do the figure 8 breathing, or we do the ball or the bubble. Lots of good techniques. All right, Hassan Huskies, it's birthdays. We have happy birthday. All right, December. We are starting with Josephine and Mrs. Petter, Stella and Mrs. Roddy, David and Mrs. Leach, Odin and Mrs. Moline, Amelia and Mrs. Leach, Kensley and Mrs. Moline, Jasmine and Mrs. Stemmick, Jason, Mrs. Petter, Max and Mr. Ashley. Happy birthday, and we have June half birthdays. All right, happy birthday. Oliver and Mr. Willenbring, Charlotte and Mr. Willenbring, June and Mrs. Oakland, Thomas and Mrs. Dazowski, Grant and Mr. Willenbring, Ty and Mrs. Petter, Dylan and Mrs. Craig, Raji and Mrs. Holloway, Charlotte and Mr. Willenbring, Olivia and Mr. Ashley, Finley and Mrs. Stemmick, Rugi and Mrs. Lazars, Addison and Mrs. Harns, Lucas and Mrs. Clem, Prince and Mrs. Hanlon. Happy half birthday. All right, Hassan Huskies, when the announcements are over, please come down to the office. Miss Eileen will sing to you and you will get a birthday book and a birthday pencil. It's a great day to be a Husky. Hassan Huskies, remember, you belong here.